final one I want to tell you about is a game called End of Nations. Now, I'm not a massive RTS fan. It's not something I'm very good at, which is why I'm not a very big fan of it. However, I was very impressed by End of Nations. We chilled out with them for a little bit, got to see an example of one of their co-op maps. Now, End of Nations is basically a free-to-play. For a start, that's a little bit mind-boggling when you actually see the graphics and you see the complexity of the game. It's a free-to-play game that is, think Command and Conquer, think Red Alert. It has the guys involved in that actually on board. For example, Frank Klepacki, who did the music for the Command and Conquer series. He's on board. He's produced some amazing music. Some of the original team that did Command and Conquer, they are also on board, and they are trying to bring that kind of game to an MMO environment. Basically, the idea is that you're fighting something called the Order of Nations. You can choose to be one of two factions. So you can choose to be like the subversive spies, underhanded sabotage kind, or the big tanky shooting everything kind of race. You can choose to be one of those, and the idea is that you can take over the map as one of them, and you have various missions around the map you can choose to do repeatedly, I believe. And if on your server, or your shard as Treon likes to call it, as we knew with Rift, they're shards, depending on where the mission is, if you've done it, if your faction controls that area, you may get a bonus or something like that, or it may be cut off to another of the other faction if you control that one. And the idea is that you're supposed to try and take over all the map and take it back from the Order of Nations, who are the baddies. How do the shards remain balanced? I mean, if you've ever played WoW, you'll know on some servers that Horde pretty much win everything. The devs have actually assured us that what they are going to do is they take statistics from everything you do, every game you play, and they use that information to ensure that it is balanced. And if a shard ever gets to the point where it needs some sort of change, one of the factions needs nerfing a little bit, or something needs tweaking, then they will do that to make sure that the balance is very, very equal. They said to date that hasn't happened because of the amount of information they take, they process, and they use to make the changes, but they are prepared to do it if necessary, which is really comforting. It means that you're never going to get into that situation of one faction always winning, one faction controlling the whole map, which is very frustrating if you've ever been in that situation. In terms of the units you control, every single unit is customizable. You can equip extra stuff onto it, you can change colour, you can add some textures if you want, the skins, so there's a lot of variety. You can very much make it, again, like XCOM, you can make it your own team. You can very much put your presence out there in a game and go, this is me. And you can also, it also means that when there's a lot of people, it's very easy to pick up which is your squad if you have similar units. In the co-op map that we were shown, they showed us a giant boss tank that you had to team up with 4 of your friends to take out, which is a really cool idea. It's, you know, it's helping with that MMO sort of feel that you wouldn't get in a sort of one-off game. And it also, the co-op, I like the idea of a co-op as well as a versus and a single player. The last thing I want to talk about, which I thought was very interesting from a free-to-play game, is quite usually with a free-to-play game that's that kind of level. So we're looking at League of Legends, we're looking at Dota 2, we are including Dota 2 in this. Any kind of game that's either gone free-to-play or is free-to-play usually has some kind of currency involved. And usually that currency you can actually create with real-life money. So if you want to buy something from the shop, you have to put in real life currency or earn it from like grinding stupid amounts of games to buy something that you've been saving up for. Now, End of Nations, they have said, the devs have said they are not doing that. They don't want that. They don't want pay to win in any way, shape or form. They don't believe in it. They don't think it's fair that one person should be able to progress better than another person because they're paying money. And I really agree in that. I think it's a good idea. Every single thing you buy that actually alters the power of your troops, the abilities of your troops, every single bit of that is from in-game currency that you earn from doing missions. I like what they're trying to do here, and hopefully it will work out. The only thing that they are actually doing real life currency for, I should add, is the skins. Because they've said they don't affect your gameplay in any way. They don't affect the power of your troops or anything like that. So pay to win doesn't apply to those, and I can see the point. I can see the point with skins. Skins were a very lucrative business. We've seen this in Heroes of Newerth. We've seen this in Dota 2 with all the items. I can see the point of doing that, and I say kudos to them for only extending it to the skins and not to anything else in the game. So far, they're in closed beta now. The ETA is actually unknown for this. They're thinking 2013, but we'll see how it goes. If you want to do open beta, I'm sure you can visit their website and sign up. I know all the guys were really impressed with it and they were really excited. Fingers crossed they'll do some footage. And yeah, thanks for watching all my Gamescom footage. I will put out a little B-roll. I know all of you have gone, "Oh, Hannah, you've been so serious throughout the whole thing." Okay, thank you. I will put out a B-roll of all the stuff that is definitely not serious of me, so you could see where that all went. It's all compacted into one place and kept secret until after I've done all of these, and then I'll put it out, and you might enjoy it. You might enjoy. There's some weird stuff. You might enjoy it. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more videos.